Welcome to Getting to Know Chronicle. I'm John Stoner, a member of the Adoption Engineering team at Google Cloud, and today we're going to build our first multi-event rule and focus on joining disparate events together to accomplish this. Multi-event rules break a bit of new ground, but leverage all of the capabilities that single rules have and that we have already covered in earlier videos, including regular expressions, string matches, condition thresholds, and more. It's important to understand that unlike some single event rules, the match section is always required in a multi-event rule, so there will always be 4 sections: meta, event, match, and condition. To build a detection using multiple events, we will need to join our events together. These joins will occur in the event section and can use either placeholder variables or UDM fields. Finally, the condition section will need to contain references to every event contained in the event section. For our first multi-event rule, we will use event variables for each set of criteria in the event section. But as we build more complex multi-event rules, you will see other kinds of count conditions appearing here as well, but that will be a future video. Since this is our first multi-event rule, let's start off with a basic. Let's build a detection around the Windows event log being cleared. Depending on the datasets available, you might just want to look for the event type of System Audit Log Wipe. But for our purposes today, we're interested in a specific process being executed from the command line that performs this action. Let's start by naming our rule Windows Event Log Cleared and add in our meta section. In the events section, let's start by adding the 2 kinds of events we are looking for. First, we will create the process launch event and its criteria, and we will use an event variable of $process for this type of event. Second, we will create our system wipe event with this criteria and an event variable of $log. Notice how both of our events have additional criteria, and we are using regex and string matching as well as the no-case modifier. Because we are also looking for the existence of both of these event variables in our rule, let's go ahead and add them to our condition section now. With those components in place, we need to determine a way to join these events and find a common value. In this video, we will only use a single field to join our process and log wipe events, but in future videos, we'll incorporate multiple joins. I find that when building rules, it's useful to have a UDM search window open so I can view UDM fields in a tabular format that helps me find like fields that help me build my joins. In our example, we can see that the principal.hostname is a common field in both events, so we can use that field for our join statement. To join our events, we could use either the UDM field name or we could use a placeholder variable for the join. Here's what it looks like if we're going to use the field names. Notice all that we need to do is put in an equal sign between them. I generally like to put the joins between the 2 events as it serves as a logical spot when reading the criteria, but you could put it anywhere in the events section. With that said, I will often use placeholder variables instead for my joins. Sometimes those join fields are going to be used in the match section, and if you recall from earlier videos, fields don't belong in the match section, match variables do. One other question I get about placeholder variables is if the variable or the field should come first. The answer is that in the case of placeholder variables in the events section, it doesn't matter. I tend to go field and then variable, but for those with other coding backgrounds, variable to field works nicely as well. In our match section, we're going to set our match variable, and it's followed by the word over, followed by a time window. That time window can range from 1 minute to 48 hours. For this first example, we are not going to demand that one event has to happen before the other. We just want to know both of them occurred in the same window. Now, that isn't the case for all multi-event rules, so in future videos we'll discuss some methods to sequence one type of event before or after another. For now, let's set our window to 1 minute. All right, with all of that in place, we can see our syntax is looking good and we can test our rule. When we test our rule, we can see that we have a single detection that contains 6 events, 2 system wipe events, and 4 process events. When we add columns to our results, we can see which solutions generated logs for this rule, as well as the user performing these operations. Remember that when you start building multi-event rules, the match section, in addition to the meta, events, and condition sections, are all mandatory. UDM fields and placeholder variables can be used in the events section to join like fields together, and that each type of event that is being evaluated will have its own event variable. These event variables will end up in the condition section separated by the word and. As we evolve multi-event rules, other descriptors will be found in the condition section, but at the end of the day, each event needs to be represented in some way within the condition section. If you want to learn more about Chronicle, check out my blog called New to Chronicle for more handy tips. We have a number of community YARL detections at our GitHub site and are continually adding more. And don't forget to engage the security community at googlecloudcommunity.com. Thanks.